What is up, guys? JoshSnipes coming at you with a brand new video today. And today I'm going to be doing a little tips and tricks thing that I noticed, because as you guys know, I did do like a Smurf account type thing where I made my own account, played at a beginner's level. So all the people who did the free to play weekend who actually ended up buying the game, I played with all of them. And I did it more so I could see and make this video because I wanted to see what people miss and what people don't do while they're playing, especially the beginners. So this is going to be a beginner's guide slash if you played this game for a while, but it might help you some tips. So make sure you guys stay tuned. Let's get this party started. Now, one of the first things that I noticed was that beginner people and even just people in general were not shooting out the cameras. Now, I understand if you're inside the building and you're A, trying not to make noise, or B, you just don't want to give off a position or anything like that, or you're just trying to check corridors. I understand that, but if you're outside, just shoot out the cameras. You'll notice at the higher levels you go to, they'll immediately shoot out the cameras like as soon as the game starts, because you don't want to be seen and you don't want to have someone peek you from one of the windows. So shooting out the cameras is really, really important, and learning where they are. I know on the newer maps, and I know if you're new to the game, it's really, really hard to get used to the fact that someone's watching you. But if you see a thing that says that you are spotted, it means that the camera has spotted you by holding C or whatever it is on the consoles. You want to shoot out those cameras like I just did right there. What I just shot out though was a black eye from Valkyrie. Now Valkyrie's cameras are also very hidden, and they'll have a blue ring around the camera lens. So you want to look out for those too. Destroying all the cameras and not giving your enemy any sort of idea of where exactly you are in a room can really help, because pre-fire is a huge thing when you know where the person is. Like if I know they're right around the corner, I'm going to turn the corner and start shooting before I even get around that corner, so that I just shoot them before they shoot me. It's the advantage of surprise and stuff like that. Speaking of the advantage of surprise, I actually want to show you guys a clip from one of my live streams that actually happened. Now, this was a prime example. This is a perfect example of what is called the peeker's advantage, and that's where your ping is different than someone else's. The lower the ping, the closer you are to the server, and the better reception you're gonna have, quote unquote. You'll be able to, people will see you before you see them. So say you have 50 ping, that's normally what I have on the west servers. 50 ping, and the person you're playing has 200 ping because they're either out of the country or from a complete other side of the country. Now, you're gonna have a very big disadvantage if you can see that I didn't even see the guy and he shot me still. And watching the kill cam on live stream was just ridiculous, because that shouldn't be a problem, but it's actually a huge problem, and it happens all the time. So if you get in a game with 200 ping people, you're gonna experience this regardless of if they're good or not. It happens all the time, and it's really annoying, and there's not too much to get around it, except for the fact that if you play on a 200 ping, you can do the exact same thing. So if you want to do that, go play on a completely different server than what you play on. I don't usually recommend doing that, but if you're really like pissed off and want to screw some people over, do it. But if you want to just play fair, just don't play with 200 ping if you can avoid it. Now, going back to my experience in the beginners or with my Smurf account, I also noticed that people do not drone out runes. You have two drones, the one from the beginning of the match as attacking, and then the one that you carry on you. If you can at least keep one of those drones alive and just have a secondary, or even just have one, that's really essential. And I don't see enough people droning out rooms before they go into them when they're attacking. They'll just run into a room and kind of hope for the best and maybe get a lucky shot if they do kill them, or they'll get shot right off the bat because they didn't see him. And also, most defenders will move as soon as they see the drone, because they're going, oh, I know I got droned, so I don't want to sit there and let them come in, and so they'll move. So using the drone also as bait, especially the Twitch drone, because people want to destroy the Twitch drone since it does damage. Using the Twitch drone as bait really, really helps, and I've done it a couple times where I've drawn people to doorways because they'll chase the Twitch drone and shoot them through the doorways, and they didn't even know I was on the other side. So using the drones either as bait and using them for information is really, really necessary, especially if you're attacking. Put it in the room that you think you're going to go into at the very beginning, the first room. That's really, really helpful, and droning really, really would save your teammates a lot. Also, communication is key. I can't even begin to tell you how necessary that is in this game and how much it does not happen. You guys need to, if you have a mic, I understand if you don't have a mic or can't afford one, that makes sense. But if you have a mic, just use it. It's not that hard. I know on keyboard, you can map it to whatever you want, so you can just hold it down the entire game if you really wanted to. But make sure if you're going to communicate that you use actual callouts and use helpful callouts. Don't just scream into the mic and just talk about whatever, especially if you're playing ranked, because most people will get annoyed by this because they won't be able to hear people roaming or anything like that anymore. So be careful with your communication, but use callouts and stuff to help your team out. It's really, really necessary, and it really, really helps. Now, the last thing that I want to talk about is working with your team. And going along with working with your team in communication, you need to pick an operator that's actually going to help. If you're going to pick Fuse for a hostage situation, you're not going to help your team at all. Instead, pick someone else that hasn't been picked. Most people will pick a THermite, Thatcher, and some other, maybe a Montag or something like that. But those are really good combinations to help, because like THermite and Thatcher will break all the bandits, or he'll break all the mutes, and so you can get through, and it's really, really helpful. Versus if you're a Fuse and you could have gone THermite, you could have gone Thatcher, you really kind of limit your team. And I understand if you're good with a gun, but it's not helping your team in any sort of way if you're just gonna pick who you want to pick and not for the team. And I think that's all I have to say today. So make sure you guys help out your team a lot. Make sure you guys communicate. Make sure you guys pick the right people. Use your drone. Shoot out the cameras. And just work together. Like, this is a really fun game, and I really want beginners to get a hold of this game, because the more this community grows, the better it's going to get. And I think that this has a lot of potential as a game to keep going past year 2. And they actually want to put this out for a long time. So don't forget to like the video, you guys like the video. Don't forget to comment down below what your favorite part was. And don't forget to subscribe. So that's going to wrap things up for today. And this is going to be JoshSnipes signing off.